This is the Women of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about why families are necessary in order for societies to thrive, why monogamy is failing all of us, and what the potential solution could be for this problem. Families are necessary for the human species to thrive, not just survive, but to thrive. Why? Because of the kids. The next generation must always be more powerful than the last. And we are all responsible for that happening. A loving mother comes together with the loving father, they produce a child, and they raise that child in order for that child to be emotionally fulfilled. If that child is emotionally fulfilled growing up, that child will emotionally fulfill others when grown up. If they do not, if they get emotionally hurt as children and develop childhood trauma, they're going to create trauma for others when grown up. They're going to hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. Why is monogamy failing us? If you look around, the root cause of dysfunctional families is monogamy. We literally were not designed for it. The more you begin to research us species, you'll discover that we're not designed for it. We're designed for something else. What is that something else? Let's first talk about why monogamy is failing us. I'm not advocating for sleeping around, because sleeping around is a horrible idea. Because that creates even more dysfunctionality in children. We've seen that happening. There's three things that parents fight over. It's kids, it's money, and it's sex. Those are the three things that adults fight about in families. And we have a problem, because if there's two people that are part of this family structure, it's all about the parents, right? If the parents make it work, then their kids are going to have an amazing time. If the father and mother have peace in the home, then the children have peace. And as long as there's peace, they can grow up happily. Because kids are kind of happy all on their own, as long as there's peace. If there's disturbance in the force, then obviously the kids are going to suffer as a result. The reason why there's no peace in the home is because of blame. They play the blame game. The father blames the mother, and the mother blames the father. And as they blame each other, they continuously escalate because they know it's the other person's fault. We can fix that with the solution on this channel. Not only this, but fathers and mothers fight about sex. Very often, this is a result of having a lack of capacity. And when they have a lack of capacity, the mother very often don't have capacity to sexually reward the man. This happens a lot of times. The majority of times, I might add. Now, how can we solve this? Because the mother doesn't have capacity. Maybe she's working. Maybe she takes on, maybe she's the only one who does work around the house because the father doesn't feel like it's his responsibility. Well, can't he just help out? Well, what if that's not his role? What if he wasn't designed to take care of that role? Us men, very often, that's how we feel. It's like, yeah, the wife does this. So what's the solution? Well, we got to figure out how to make that work, because it's not functioning very well. The moment the man begins to do labor in the house, he might be unburdening her for a time, and that might give her some capacity, but it's not a turn on for women when the man vacuums the floor and does the dishes. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is what he did to me, okay? No, it's not how that works. Women don't function that way. How do you create passion in a relationship? The man has to have power. That's what women are turned on by, right? But if there's equality in the home, then that equality makes it so that the woman has all the power. believe it or not. Why? Because she has more fiery passion about the things that she desires. And so the man, in order for him to keep the peace, he's going to take the blame and say, okay, we'll fix it, which causes her to look down on him. So it's an attraction problem. This is the cause of one of the big reasons why monogamy doesn't work. We talked about peace, that they blame each other. Over time, the man begins to take the blame because it's easier and it's faster to resolve the problem if he does. But as he does that, suddenly there's no attraction in the marriage anymore. And the moment there's no attraction, there's no passion. If there's no passion, suddenly there's no obsession. Obsession equals loyalty. And if there's no obsession, very quickly you begin to have disloyalty happening in the home, which causes also for there to be a lack of peace over time. And very often this is why men and women separate, and it is very destructive for the kids. The last aspect, which I didn't even mention here before now, is the monetary aspect. Men and women fight about money all of the time. If there was a lot of money, there would be a little bit less fighting. If they knew that they had security. If the woman knew that she had security and equality and everything was wonderful, then it would be a little bit easier. We have a problem though, because most people, I'm not talking about rich people because the majority of people are not rich, right? The majority of people are middle class and the poor. If they choose to set up a family, we got a problem. Because there's going to be bickering and fighting over the food because there's a scarcity of resources. When that's the result, the wife has now a dilemma. She has the kids here that need her, and she needs to focus on the kids, and the kids are too much for her. And then on the other hand, she also needs the resources. So she needs the man to go out and gather resources, but then she also kind of needs the man to be at home to help her out because she can't handle it all by herself. So this becomes the dilemma where she fights with the man about him not having enough money, but then she also fights with the man about him not having enough time to help her out. Huge issues are a result of this. The only reason why these problems erupt is because of monogamy. A lack of capacity. A lack of capacity creates a lack of motivation. A lack of motivation causes the man to lose his drive. And he becomes depressed. And he becomes powerless, which causes there to be even less passion in the relationship and also less resources. And guess who suffers the most? Eventually the kids. Although it's the mother very often that suffers first. But then there's all this back and forth, very dysfunctional families, because this is what happens the majority of the time. What's the solution? Give us a solution here. We got it. On this channel right here. We want to bring peace, passion, and prosperity to every family on planet Earth. How are we going to do that? Well, let's look at it this way. Let's say monogamy, we're just going to strip away all the things that we know to be true of monogamy working. No, that doesn't work. Okay? So we're going to strip that one away, and we're just going to pretend for a second that this is what works. And let's see what we can do with this clay in our hands. What if one man, 3 women? Whoa, 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 says the woman. Why? Oh, because, we try that, doesn't work. Let me share some thoughts with you here. How would this help the peace? We start with peace first. First of all, most people would think that women in the same home, there wouldn't be peace. Oh, there can be peace. The man must do something very critical in order for there to be peace in the home. He needs to take the blame. He needs to take the blame for every single thing that happens in the house. And if he takes the blame for every little tiff, every scarcity problem, every single problem that exists, his fault, his fault, his fault, his fault. Imagine your life as a woman if you could simply let go of the responsibility and the blame. And the man actually takes it. Wouldn't that be amazing? We have on the two opposite sides, we have women that don't want to share their man with anyone. And then we've got on the other side men who are like, what the heck? Me supposed to take the blame for everything that goes wrong? You'd be crazy. On the other hand, what if men were willing to take the responsibility and the blame for everything? Maybe, just maybe, women would begin to think, maybe I could share this man with two best friends of mine. Best friends. How would that look like? You guys are best friends. You have security. I'm going to talk about that in a sec. You have equality because he takes the blame, right? If there's any favoritism, if there's any issues amongst them, etc., who's to blame? The man. So the man would make sure that the women are always equal and that they always have an abundance of resources. This is where the last one comes in. We now have peace. We started with peace. Actually, the second one first. Then we have passion. Women are designed in such a way as to enjoy it when her man is attractive to her same gender. Which means if she sees other women want to be with her man, it actually fires her up more about that man. Now imagine if that could be in the home and it's her best friends who is edifying her man. This would create attraction. This would create a man of power. Now, as long as the man takes the blame and he's honest, integral, trustworthy, and he makes sure that he wants to keep this, right? Then he's going to make sure that he treats the women equally and so that they can trust him. And if that's the case, then this could actually be an amazing arrangement where all three actually have passion and are in love with their man for the long term. Peace, because the man takes the blame. Passion, because the women need other women in order for their man to be high value in their eyes all day long, every day, for the rest of their lives. Wouldn't that be amazing? And the third one, which is foundational for this to work, is the man must have a strong financial foundation. He must be well off, or else this is not going to work. This system is based upon the women simply enjoying the now, and the man going out and making the now better by providing massive amounts of resources and working 70 to 80 hour work weeks in order to give his family what they deserve. If that was the case, this family would be able to have 3 mothers for the kids. These kids would be emotionally fulfilled growing up because they never have to worry that they're being neglected, that they're going to be sent off to public school or private school or daycare or grandma or auntie or anyone else because the mother, the one mother alone, cannot handle it. Instead, there's 3 mothers and they do extensive family planning, so there's never more than 1 child per woman per 8 years, as we recommend. If that's the case, this could work. This could actually create emotionally fulfilled kids instead of hurt people. As a result of the man going out and getting massive amounts of resources and being fired up outside his brain to do so, because once he does, he gets massively rewarded for his efforts when he does come home because the women actually have capacity. Once they have capacity, he gets motivation. Once he's motivated and he creates momentum, the women get motivation. Simply from edifying their man to each other, but also from him succeeding in creating momentum in his responsibility. There are so many different aspects to this philosophy as I'm going to share with you on this channel. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. I'm fired up to share these things with you. I'll see you in the next one.